Hi everyone, and welcome to Raw Spirituality, Health and Wellbeing with me, Amelia Campbell. I hope you're all well wherever you may be in the world right now. And today I'd like to share a little bit more about my story. A couple of years ago, I was having a Skype session with a friend of mine who was coming to one of the Be Yin events, come and be a guest speaker for me at Be Yin, Be Your Inner Nature in Congleton in Cheshire. And after we finished the Skype, I closed my laptop down and I didn't realise that anything was any different until I picked up my cup of tea. I went to pick up my cup that was on the side next to me, and as I picked my cup of tea up and went to drink it, I noticed that there was no clear definition of where I began and where the cup of tea began and ended. There was no separation between me and the cup and the tea, and to say that this was unusual was quite an understatement, really. It was profoundly different to anything I'd ever experienced before, and I didn't know what was going on, but it was beautiful, it was amazing, and I fell into the cup. My whole being became a part of the cup and the tea, and for the first time in my entire life that I could remember, I started to see that day the oneness of everything, the deep connection that runs through everything and connects us all together. At that moment, after picking up the cup, I put it down and I went to look in the mirror, which was also right next to me. And as I looked in the mirror, I saw myself looking at myself from outside of myself, so from a whole different perspective. And it was as if I was no longer there. The body, the form, the identification with me as a person, my personality, was no longer available to see in that moment. What was available was an expansive me, an expansive I, something that I hadn't experienced in that way before, and it was really beautiful. So I, after I'd looked in the mirror and seen myself from a whole different perspective, I stood up, and when I stood up, everything around me disappeared, including myself, including my body, and a way that I perceive things on a daily basis. There was a shift, and I saw myself for the very first time without the conditioning, without the beliefs, without the attachments to any outer form. I saw myself as a limitless being. I saw myself beyond space and time. I saw myself beyond the physical. And I realized that I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am not these thoughts. I am that. I am. And a joy arose from within my being, a deep, deep joy and realization that everything that I had ever been concerned about in that moment wasn't real. I could see that it was a creation of my mind, and I understood that the suffering in the world, that the suffering that we experience is created by our perception of what is. And that perception through the mind, through the thoughts, is clouded. And in that moment, the clouds and the veils had vanished, and I was able to see reality, a true, deep reality of consciousness, all pervading, all encompassing. There was no end to me, and there was no beginning of me. And I understood that there can be truly no death. Because we are eternal. We are eternal beings. We are eternal consciousness. We can only change form. We cannot be destroyed. We simply are. And our body is our temple. It's our vehicle through this journey of life that we have all been blessed with to experience life in its many facets. And as I looked around, I started to see that the walls around me were not solid. They were fluid. They were moving. Atoms were vibrating. And everything around me shifted. I saw the energy, I saw the vibration, I saw the connection, I saw the oneness. And I started to walk down the stairs, and the walls around the stairs and the house, everything about that my home was fluid. There was no real solidity. It was as if I could see I was being shown the truth. And I wondered if I needed to get something to eat. A part of me realised maybe I was hungry, and perhaps that's why I was having this experience. I really had no understanding. I had nothing to cling to. There was nobody around. And I came downstairs and I found an apple. I remembered there was an apple in my bag, and I took out the apple. And as I looked at the apple, me and the apple became one. I fell into the apple. Again, there was no beginning to me, there was no end to me. And holding that apple in my hand was like holding the universe in my hand. And I saw no separation. And I began to understand. A deepening of experience had happened, and it was so blissful, it was so joyful. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I was astounded by what I was being shown, and I knew it was precious. I knew it was magnificent. I knew it was amazing. But I had no reference point. I hadn't read anything about that kind of experience. And for nearly 2 years afterwards, I was trying to get some kind of understanding of what I'd experienced. All I knew was my perception of life would never be the same again. How could it? And things started to fall away. The way that I felt about things, the way that I experienced things, the way that I had beliefs about things, all started to fall away. It was as if the slate had been wiped clean. And I was reborn with a whole new understanding. I felt so blessed, so much love, so much joy. I was laughing and laughing and laughing for quite a few hours afterwards, and it was beautiful, and it didn't need any explanation. And I realised that that was the cosmic joke, that everything we see and perceive as reality is an illusion. And I now understand that I was so present in that moment. There was a gap in my mind. There was a space to see the truth. There was no thoughts. There was no thinking. I was watching, witnessing everything that was happening and allowing it to be. I was in a space of total acceptance, total openness and love. And I felt God. I felt truth. And I realized that that is the journey that we are all on, and the learning never ends. And that is our natural state of being, without the thoughts keeping us in the past or keeping us in the future. And a few hours later, I don't know, I lost the time scale, but at some point in the day, I saw my mind come back in. I watched my mind, I was aware, I was able to witness my mind and its chatter and its want to understand and its need to figure everything out. And it came back in, whoosh. But this time, I could see it. I was aware of it. And I knew it wasn't me, that I was the witness of it. And I know, I understand from this experience that this is open to all of us, that we don't need to be living in India or meditating in a cave or pushing or pulling ourselves in any direction. That we are apples on a tree, and when we are ripe, when we are ready, we are allowed to fall from the tree and be met by grace, to see the truth of our being. This is a gift for all of us, for everyone, everywhere. And it's our inner nature. It's our true state of being. And it's a possibility for all of us. And your life's journey, the purpose of your life's journey is to take you to that place, which is here now, in every moment. It's available to you. Here now, in every moment. The joy is available to you. The peace, the deep, deep peace is available to you in every moment. And the beauty and the wonder and the truth is available to you in every moment. You just have to stop and be silent and get quiet with yourself and allow life is a miracle. And everything that's happening in your life now is bringing you back to truth, back to yourself, and back to love. Unconditional love. Your life is a journey, and it is complete in itself. It is incredible. And there is so much opportunity for you. So much for you to see. So much for you to experience. So much love. You are so loved. Grace is looking after you, is holding you. So much love to you all, and many, many blessings. And I'll share some more with you soon.